Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Wednesday, the 20th of March, 2024, my final consecutive streaming day of the week of RPG Overload Madness. This week, as you know, I made an incredible push to get as far as I possibly could in the two major RPGs that I've now been playing an incredibly long time. This week, Baldurs Gate 3, top almost 130 hours of playtime, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, reaching around 55-ish hours of playtime. And both games, quite frankly, need to wrap up because we've got new games on the horizon. We got a new one on Friday. There was more that are coming out that I'm actually foregoing for now, but I'm considering bringing in at a future date once we wrap up everything going on. So today primarily was RPG Mania yet again, a second day in a row. All these RPGs being condensed and trying to get as far as I can in them. So how did that go? Well, first of all, we had a level 1 podcast this morning discussing the early reviews of Dragon's Dogma 2, which are very positive. Overall, it seems everyone who's played this game early has enjoyed it, with the only criticism being the graphics aren't as good on console because the frame rate gets choppy. But outside of that, apparently the game is outstanding. We also talked about a very positive update regarding DSP Throwback because we are very quickly approaching the conclusion of the first playthrough there, Red Dead Redemption. And once that wraps up within a week or two, we're going to move on to restoring, upgrading, and making more modern another classic playthrough. Now, one of the shoo-ins has been LA Noire, but a big request has been Fallout 3, and I talked about the viability of that this morning, and the good news is that it's good news. But based on talking to my my editor team, they're thinking that we can do it. So check out the podcast if you want to hear about all that stuff. And then we jumped into Baldurs Gate 3. Today was great progress. Okay, first, we had finished up the Orin boss fight yesterday. We got the Spoils of War today, completely looting the Baal's Temple. We actually completed one or two side quests, including the Clown side quest. We have to find all those gruesome body parts that have been chopped up. Yeah, we were actually able to find all of those and trade those in. We had rescued Lae'zel, so now Lae'zel is back as a party member. And then we went and finished her quest line where basically she gets her ultimate weapon. Then we decided to do the Shadowheart quest line, which took quite a bit. We had to go to this place called the House of Lies. We had to basically go in there, and this plot line ensued. A ginormous fight. Actually, this is the most enemies I've had in a singular fight in this game so far. It took a while to get through, but we did it. And then we had the conclusion of her plot line, which was very, very dramatic. And then we decided to go to the, is it Azure? I can't remember the name of the dragon, but apparently there is a dragon sleeping under Baldur's Gate. This is revealed in the plot many hours ago. And there's a whole dungeon that you have to go to and complete a series of trials to basically unlock this dragon and have the dragon come help you in the final fight. So we're working on that. We had just arrived. We had done one of the trials, and we ran out of time. So great progress. I mean, if you think about it, this week in Baldur's Gate, we completed a ton of the companion quests. In fact, the only one left is Will's, and that's what we're working on right now. And then after that, it's just conclusion of the game. So we are definitely in the home stretch of Baldur's Gate 3, and we might finish it this coming week. We actually might. It's not a guarantee, but it's a very strong possibility. Then, in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth tonight, amazing progress yet again. We did just a little bit of the side content in Kamurocho, but then we had to push forward with one other major mission that it's kind of like a side mission, but it's part of the story. Once that was done, we went back over to a Jinsho, got more of the plot, had to do an epic fight. All I'm going to say without spoiling, super epic fight. If you remember in Yakuza Like a Dragon, there was a couple kind of almost like fan service fights against, classic characters. Well, tonight was another one of those. That's all I'm going to say without saying a word about who it is or anything like that. It was a really epic fight. It took a while to do, but it was fun. We beat it, and I thought, let me push forward and try to keep going to finish Chapter 12. That way we only have 13 and 14 left. Well, Chapter 12 is apparently pretty long because the plot advanced, and it got me into another dungeon. I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting all that Kamurocho stuff and this epic fight and now a dungeon. So we got far in the dungeon. In fact, we're at the end of it, and there was a save point, and that's where I saved and ended it. So we went about a half an hour extra tonight, but we got really far. So when we play Like a Dragon again, we're basically going to have the conclusion of that dungeon, and then moving to Chapter 13, which is probably going to go back to Kasuga and crew in Hawaii for another chapter, and then we're going to wrap up the playthrough with 14. So even so, we might actually finish both Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth next week. If we don't, we're going to get so close that very first few days of April, those first few days of gameplay, we're absolutely wrapping them up. And then we can go wholeheartedly, full-fledged into new playthroughs. Speaking of which, I'm off tomorrow, but I'm doing some work towards the new playthrough on Friday, which is Dragon's Dogma 2. I actually just downloaded the character creator, pre-ordered the game, and I'm downloading the game to my Xbox Series X right now. And, tomorrow on my day off, my wife and I are going to make the characters. I'm going to make my character. She's going to make a pawn for me that I'm going to use in my playthrough. And so that's going to be done ahead of time. You might say, well, I don't get it. Why are you doing that ahead of time? Well, here's the deal. I cannot play another RPG. We have to finish Baldur's Gate and Like a Dragon. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to play Dragon's Dogma 2 on release day. I'm going to be playing it all day long on Friday. But I wanted to do all gameplay. That way it's not me lingering making characters for an hour and wasting that precious time that I have to play. So I'm doing it the day before. So on Friday, we're doing it all day long, both streams, 5 or more hours of launch day gameplay of Dragon's Dogma 2. So I hope you'll be here if you can all day long on Friday. Then after that, Dragon's Dogma 2 temporarily goes on the shelf for me to finish Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon. So I'll be playing those Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as long as needed till they're done. Once they're done, Dragon's Dogma 2 comes back full-time capacity. Probably Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes back. And I'm going to be beginning co-op gameplay with my wife of Beyond Two Souls, which we've been wanting to start for weeks, and we had to wait till we wrap this up. And we might even bring another game into the mix, like Alone in the Dark or something like that. So after this coming week, we are fully into all new playthroughs, and the lingering ones will be done, I promise you, okay? But we got to get through this week. Please join me on Friday for the Dragon's Dogma 2 premiere, and then it'll come back full force once we wrap up these other games, okay? Everyone, I wish you a safe and happy Thursday. Feel free to get caught up on all of my content. You've got all this RPG Mania on this channel. You have React content on both of my channels. On DSP Reacts, the final React part went live today, or will go live tomorrow, actually. And on DSP Throwback, the continuation of Red Dead and Final Fantasy 13 and parts of Heavy Rain's React are also going live. So tons of content on all of my channels right now. I hope you'll all give it a look and get caught up. And I'll see you all Friday, okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. See you Friday morning. Peace out.